All data is subject to legal and ethical requirements. For example, datasets that contain personal information or secret information or third-party information need to be anonymized and well protected. In those cases, but also for any other type of data, it is important to think about the access to the data and to define this in your research data management plan. In this video, we discuss the topic of managing authorized access to your data. There may be privacy issues concerning the information that is stored, or limitations due to commercial interests or pending patents. You will need to take these restrictions into account when you choose your place for storage and when you do or do not give other people access to your data. Who can access your data? Who owns the data? How will you manage copyright and intellectual property right issues? Who controls data access? How do you ensure that data remains accessible when you or other people leave the project? If you are the principal investigator, you are responsible for ensuring data security. This applies to PhD projects, for example. You need to prevent unauthorized access or disclosure and changes to the data or maybe even destruction of data. The level of security that you need depends upon the nature of your data. For instance, personal or sensitive data need higher levels of security than anonymized or non-confidential data. In addition to the security level, you need to consider whether you will need remote access to your data, whether you are working from more than one location or working from outside the university. It could also be the case that multiple people may require access to the data, possibly with different privileges to read, write, update or delete the data. You may also need to arrange access to third-party data, such as data from a company or external research institute. Such data may have specific limitations in how they can be distributed. The third-party data may be, for example, protected by intellectual property rights. When your research project has received data under confidentiality or other restrictions, you will have to identify and explain these restrictions in your data management plan. Ownership of the data and copyrighted datasets will depend on whether the project was created as part of sponsored research, the employment status of the creator, and whether third-party data has been utilized during the conduct of research. In your research data management plan, you may want to make remarks about legal, ethical, and access requirements of the data. Such characteristics might concern the fact that the data is anonymized because it involves data on individuals, or that it can only be read with specific special software. Well-managed research data and FAIR data are not necessarily open data. Especially when working with personal data or confidential data, researchers should carefully reflect which data are they sharing openly. A data management plan can help with that reflection, together with ensuring that all the collaborators in a project are aware of these restrictions of access and publication. To adhere with the FAIR data principles, if it is not possible to make the data openly available, at least the metadata should be openly available, indicating how the data can be accessed and under which conditions.